Here we're going to be dealing with some function composition. So I have my first function f of x, my second function g of x. I'm going to do a couple different things with it. So in this first one, I'm taking g of f of x, meaning I'm plugging f of x into g of x. So what that means is that I take f of x, my purple function is what I'm going to call it, and I plug it into wherever I see an x in for g of x. So what that ends up looking like, we'll call this g of f of x equals, and I see there's this one x that I'm going to plug in, x squared plus x4, because that's this. I'm plugging it into here. And then I have just this plus 1 at the end that's still part of g of x that I have to keep in there. So because there's nothing being multiplied, or this isn't raised to any power in these parentheses, I can just drop my parentheses to give me my final function. G of f of x is equal to x squared plus x plus 1. So there's my first one. The second one is the reverse of that. So I'm doing f of g of x. So I'm plugging in g of x to the function f of x. So the way that this is going to look, f of g of x equals, and here's the hard part, is that I'm going to erase this to give us a look here. So I'm taking x plus 1 and I'm plugging it into wherever I see an x. So there's a bunch of different spots here to do that. And so I have to do x plus 1, and then part of that, this first x here is being squared. Then I'm adding x again, so now I have x plus 1 a second time in this function composition. And so now to simplify this, the second x plus 1, I can drop these parentheses because there's nothing really happening to it, but this one's being squared, so I actually have to multiply this out. So what I would end up getting, f of g of x is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus the rest of this, which would be x plus 1. And then I want to simplify that finally to get f of g of x equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. And this would be simplified, or at least this is what I call simplified in standard form. I don't like to leave it in parentheses there. And so that's the second one. Now my third one, C, is saying for what values of x will f of g of x equal 2. So f of g of x is the second one that we just created. And we're just saying, when is that equal to 2? So all I really have to do is plug in 2 for f of g of x. So I get 2 equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to give me 0 equals x squared plus 3x. And now I just factor so that I can get my final answer. So 0 equals, factoring out the x using greatest common factor, using the 0 product property to set both things, factors equal to 0, and then solving. So I get x equals 0 and x equals -3. So for what values of x will f of g of x equal 2? That would be 0 and -3.